All right, so the battles on the East Rand continue. Residents of Thembisa vowing to continue with their protest until they meet the mayor. We know that 4 people have died since Monday, and it seems that the destructive nature of the protest continues. I'm joined now by our reporter Pulele Tweety-Jones. Good evening to you, Pule. Tell us where you are exactly and what is the current situation.
Well, good evening, Sally. I'm still currently in Thembisa here. I'm just going to step out of shot so you can have a look behind me as to what is going on. This is actually where some of the cars were torched yesterday and public infrastructure being wrecked apart and damaged. It's just outside the Thembisa Customer Care Centre, which was torched by the angry protesters last night. What you're seeing here on your screen right now is some of the local residents who are now taking every piece of public infrastructure to go and sell it. They're just wrecking it apart, and it's been like this for almost throughout the whole day. We did see a bit of police presence earlier on today, but it seems as though some of them have actually knocked off, or rather went to other sections which continue to experience some of these violent protests. This has been going on for the past 2 days right now, and what we understand is that residents have continued to say that they are calling for the Ekurhuleni Mayor, Tanya Campbell, to make way here and come and address some of their demands and see how they can meet their demands at the center of having to resolve everything and iron out issues, or else they will continue like this throughout the whole week. But of course the mayor said that she will be making a way on Friday to address the residents.
All right, let's take a listen to the Ekurhuleni Community Safety MMC, who I know spoke a little earlier.
Well, we are of a view that there's a third hand to this. I mean, even yourself can be able to tell from a distance to say, I mean, bombing of ATMs and torching council vehicles cannot necessarily mean that people are actually complaining about service delivery. We are of a view, from a security point of view, that this has been hijacked, and more so that the community forum themselves were on record yesterday by saying, by distancing themselves from these activities. They were very clear that we are not part of this. We don't know who are the perpetrators. Hence why I'm saying we are now on the fact-finding mission to get to the bottom of this matter and see to it that all of those who are involved gets brought to book.
We also know that 4 people have died since the protest reignited on Monday. What can you tell us about how those 4 people died? What details are emerging?
I mean, from what the MMC is saying, you get a feeling that this was well coordinated, apart from the service delivery protest that had been planned by some of the angry residents. And what now has been linked to what could possibly be sabotage is allegations against the 2 deceased protesters who were alleged to have actually tried to use gas canisters to blow the ATM, and the attempt went wrong, but the ATM was successfully blown and they lost their lives. Apart from that, we do know of the other 2 deceased who were allegedly shot by police officials at close range, and we spoke to one of their family members as well earlier on, who were quite upset about what had happened and frustrated, in fact confirming on record to say that they have opened a case against one of the police officials allegedly involved in this incident, Sally. So you can just see it's been quite a busy 2 days, and at the center of this as well, lives have been lost. But authorities were here earlier on to reinforce their presence and ensure that there can be some sort of peace and stability. But right now what we're seeing is something else as well. We are seeing that the chaos still continues in this area. As you can see just on your screen again, this is just the leftovers of some of the torched vehicles that actually were here last night into the morning, and they just scavenging on every last piece of material they can get to try and sell it as well. It's surprising that police officials have actually left this area as they were here in masses earlier on. So what we're seeing right now is completely something out of control, and this is as a result of the ugly protest that took place last night and today.
All right, let's just take a listen to an interview you did earlier with the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department.
In terms of Section 49 with the use of force, force which must be used under such gatherings is that which is proportional to the attack being experienced. So in terms of the use of force, cannot really give a comment based because this will again be investigated further by IPID. The allegations are that live ammunition was used, but again, as EMPD, we do understand that crowd management is handled on a different capacity.
I wonder if you can tell us what various community leaders are saying, because we're getting two different messages. We know that the community forum of Thembisa, I think it was meeting with the mayor yesterday. She's going to give a report back on Friday. But at the same time, there are people on the streets of Thembisa saying, we're not organised by anyone. We just want someone to tell us what's going on with our bill. So have you managed to get a sense of where the community is at? Is it split along different lines? What is the situation?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is split along different lines, Sally. I mean, we spoke to some of the community members earlier who were saying that, we are distancing ourselves from the looting and chaos that is taking place in the township. In fact, we're still sticking to our guns to say that we want the mayor to address our issues and to come up with a solution, and a long-term solution that will not be changed along the lines. And then you come to the other side of Thembisa, and this is what you're seeing behind me. This is just some of the residents who have decided to hijack the agenda of this service delivery protest and, include elements of criminality. I mean, looting isn't something that's justifiable, but at the very same time, wrecking public infrastructure, burning tires, and of course destroying robots, which are there to traffic lights rather, which are there to guide cars into various sections as well. So you get the sense that police presence actually is required here to try and quell down these tensions. But at the very same time now, we've seen how this ugly protests have turned ugly, with lives having been on the line here and 4 people having been killed from these ugly protests as well. And now police officials confirming that IPID is also investigating some of these matters here. So, on Friday, it'll be quite interesting to see what the mayor says. But developing as well, Sally, we do understand that tomorrow the MEC of Kokta, Lebogang Maile, will be making his way here, perhaps visiting the family members of those who were deceased, and of course trying to get answers from some of the residents here as to what could be a way forward, and hopefully meeting the leadership of the Ekurhuleni municipality to see how they can find common ground and resolve these issues.
All right, well, thank you very much for that update from Thembisa. That's our reporter there, Pule Letchwiti Jones, and he's just shown us that people are still out on the streets going through burnt out wreckages of cars. There's been a fair amount of destruction. So we'll keep in contact with him just to keep an eye on the situation on the East Rand.